lights are on, Nick's here at 9:30 in the morning. Is that a first?
It's a good sign, yeah. That was great, good session. Guys had real energy. That was really what we were after. I'm not sure we're going to get those conditions Sunday, but it's always nice to get one of those sessions in. We wanted to bring contest today, so we would have had that style of session anyway, and I think just those conditions add to it. So the boys were able to crash in, and yeah, there was a really good energy out there.
No Riley O'Brien, is there any issues there?
Rolled his ankle Tuesday, and he's fine, so he'll play. It was just no risk today. Manage, make sure he's right for the game.
Is that the same ankle he had a couple of
No, it's the other one, yeah, unfortunately. But it wasn't a bad roll. So he was going to train today, and we made the decision last minute, look, in these conditions for Rob, big ruckman, we're going to bash and crash. A session off's not going to hurt him long term.
You had a big win against the Eagles. Do you change a side that did that?
We've got a lot of guys knocking on the door, but we probably won't make too much of a change to the group. We'll meet again now, and our plan would be to go in with a similar team. The sub's always a conversation that we have to have. Ned's played that a lot this season, and so at what point does that become where his game time's not quite where we'd like it to be, but he's played it really well for us. He impacts the game, brings energy in that space, and so there's a chance he may do that again.
Busy week for Reedy. You've been pleased with obviously some of the results. Just talk us through your reaction to the young guys committing and re-signing long term. Yeah,
really pleasing week for the footy club to be able to announce, I guess a young crop that are coming through, and a really exciting group. I saw the boys on 360 last night, Josh and Jake. I thought it showed their character. They're good guys. I'm surprised Luke didn't get on camera. He should have come through. I mean, he's one that's he's not far away, Luke Nankervis, and the reason we sign those boys and for longer term deals is because they're pros. They train at the level. Without a lot of coaching, we've seen them in a short period of time learn from some of our older guys like O'Brien and Keys and Walker and Sloan, and now they're just professional athletes. So we're confident we're going to see those guys continue to improve, and that includes Luke Nankervis, who wasn't announced in a new one, but I'm sure in time he'll get his reward as well.
When it's announced, do you ever indulge yourself and sit back and think, what it's a testament to what you're building at the footy club as well as a head coach? Does that enter your mind at all?
Yeah, I have a lot of pride. Yeah, in our group, not so much in myself. I think I mentioned it, we got so many good people here that it's reward for everyone that's involved. Announcing contracts like we did this week and being able to go up to staff and talk about what the impact they've had on those players, and where the club's, the direction we're heading in. Long way to go still, but we're definitely heading in the right direction. So it's pleasing, it brings pride. I think most people had a smile on their face when they saw the FIFA cards come out.
Do you feel like you're a destination club, Nixie? I mean, the last couple of years you get Isaac and Jordan back home and keep these Victorian kids here. Does it feel like it's becoming a destination club?
Well, we'd like to be. That's our goal. We'd like to have players want to come to our footy club for a number of reasons. Get to know South Australia because it is a beautiful place, but more importantly, see what's going on inside the four walls. And we opened up now to as much as we can, and we share what it is we're doing. And we're not the only side doing that. There are a lot of very good sides in the competition, and they are that because they're open and transparent. And we want to continue to be that. And at the moment, we're embracing a stage where we've got incredible growth coming through, and a really good group of young players with a lot of experience scattered in amongst it that are playing good footy.
So what do you do different should you come up in a similar scenario against Collingwood as you did last time?
Well, it's a challenge because a lot of people haven't got it right against Collingwood, and you always look at, have we got it wrong? I think Collingwood are very strong in those scenarios where it's a close game. They almost did it in their last hit out against Melbourne. We learned a lot from that last game. A lot of positives came out of that game as well. So we've looked through those over the last week and a half. We know we've got the game if we bring it. The challenge will be we're playing on their home deck and in front of their supporters.
Many clubs have suffered the post-bye blues again. How big a work on that's been for you this week? In terms of?
Well, we'll go through routine of what we believe brings you back after a break. We've worked hard for a week and a half now, so it's not like we're coming in off of no work. You know, our guys put 3 big days in last week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We've had 2 really good hit-outs this week. You know, so we've gone pretty hard. The contest today was, you know, that was second to none. I thought the guys had incredible energy. They're ready to go. I guess time will tell. You know, both teams are coming off a bye, which is an interesting one, and so far the results off a bye this year haven't been strong. So, look, a start will be crucial. A start will be crucial for us, and you know, especially on that venue. We haven't been there this year, so we're excited to get down there, down to Melbourne, but more importantly on the MCG.
You touched on it there, but what's your advice been to your young guys that haven't played on the ground or in front of a crowd that size before?
The guys who have had experience in that have played in front of big crowds, they always talk about getting out there and making sure you absorb it in the warm-up. Nowadays you get a chance to get out on the ground. Back when I played, you didn't quite get that, maybe for a grand final. But our boys get an opportunity to go out, feel the atmosphere of the stadium. We'll also train there. We get the luxury this week of training on the MCG for our captain's run. So you won't get the vibe of, I guess, of a Collingwood, you know, field stadium, but what you will get is a chance to have a look at the ground, look at the dimensions and get used to some of that. I mean, in the end, it's an oval. We've got to go and have a crack. It's really the opposition we're up against is our biggest challenge.
A lot's been made of your away record, obviously. Have you put any extra focus on that this week? And if so, what have you done on trying to alleviate that or improve that?
Not specifically on the away part of it, more so on our consistency is what we're looking at. It's been something at away games. We played some good footy at our away games. You know, we've had leads. We've had quite substantial leads and haven't held on. So we've looked at the scenarios more so. What's happening to us in those moments? You know, when we do have a lead and control of the game, and unfortunately we're not able to hold on to that. So we've worked on that now for, I'd say, probably 6 weeks or more. It's not something new, so we'll continue to work through that. It's not necessarily the venue. We love playing at home. We've mentioned that. You know, we get so much support. So with that comes energy and enthusiasm. We've got a young group that loves showing that as well. As we've seen over the last week, some of the boys were signing on. They embrace the crowd, and our supporters are, you know, second to none. So we've got to now learn to do that, and I guess try and picture people at home watching on their TVs, because I know where they're all watching and they support us. So we'll just keep working through that.
Is there a danger to you that if you keep talking about this away record, that it actually becomes self-prophesying in the players' minds that we have got an issue here?
As I said, we're not really talking about the away. You guys are. We're talking about, I guess, the consistency, the issue we're having on the road. It's not like we've gone and performed poorly on the road every game. We've actually had moments where we've actually had really positive moments on the road. You know, first hit out against the Giants, we're in a position to win the game. Gold Coast recently, come off at half time, we're in a position to win the game as well. So, well, we're confident we can turn that, and that's more about our consistency.
How do you bring that energy in those moments?
Well, it's the energy's there, which is why we're not concerned about away. The energy's there for games. It's more about, I guess it's as our opposition gain momentum, how can we change that momentum, bring it back our way, when you're going up against not just your opposition but also their home crowd, and that'll be something we'll work on.
How's Jordan Dawson, had the orange cap on?
Yeah, just to manage for Dawes this week. He plays 100th game this week as well, so that'll be exciting for the group, but no, he's fine.
Keys on Dacos?
Not decided as yet, but obviously a lot of respect for what he continues to do after, since we last played them. He's a fantastic player and needs some attention.
Nick, can you just touch on Jordan? Obviously his impact has been relatively quickly felt since his move over here, so much that he's ascended to the top role really quickly. Could you just touch on what difference he's made ahead of game 100 in such a short time at West Lakes?
Yeah, well, it's more than just on field. I think a lot of people are now expecting, there's a high expectation on his performance now, and that's warranted because he does it consistently week in, week out, but there's so much that goes on behind the scenes with Jordan. Some of his leadership off the field and the way he brings his troops along with him. It's a credit to him what he's been able to produce at this footy club, and the way he's been able to sort of bring what he's learnt in a short career and have an impact on a group so quickly. We were confident we were getting a really strong leader, but for him to have the impact he's had at this point, that's an added bonus.
Did you think that he would have that impact and be as good when he first came over?
We hoped. We saw enough leadership on field that we knew he had what it took as far as footy and a great awareness, incredible football intelligence. But the off-field stuff has come as a real bonus.
We just asked one about 2 dangerous tackles, obviously still in the news. I think you touched on it at the last police game presser, but have you revisited that with your players, or are they absolutely clear that they have to change their method of dragging a person to the ground? Or?
We've revisited that. So we watched that Tuesday with our playing group and just went over some of the vision the AFL had sent through in a memo, which was it was clear vision. I think the players are clear on what it is we're trying to achieve. The challenge comes in the split-second decision-making and when there's momentum involved in a tackle. And so everyone's on board, you know, the player welfare and protection, especially around that concussion in the head. There are instances where that's really tough, you know, to change that tackling technique, but we're all looking at it, we're working on it. Our guys have seen all that vision. And there's a clear difference between the tackles that we've seen, and I think the players have adjusted quite well. There's still obviously the odd one, you know, every week and probably one a game, where the speed of the game is going to be hard for us to take it out completely.
So you're trying to coach a bit of a change mid-season, is that difficult?
Our language with our players has been more around, if you control the ball carrier, then there's no reason to dump that player on the ground, which I think if you go back 10 or 15 years, there was always a want to end up on top as the tackler and make sure you show dominance and didn't let them get back up. But we understand now that's not where the game's going.